In 2014, a 19-year-old from Brooklyn made the world dance. Bobby Shmurda's Hot and the Shmoney dance took over everything, until it all stopped. One viral hit, one police raid. This is the rise and fall of Bobby Shmurda, and how a viral hit turned into a criminal case. Akil Polar's story begins not in Brooklyn, but in Florida. His life was changed forever when his father was sentenced to life in prison. His mother moved him and his brother to East Flatbush, a neighborhood that, at the time, was an exception to New York's falling crime rate. It was a world that demanded a certain hardness to survive. In an interview with Complex, Shmurda said, "You gotta be hard. If you ain't hard, you ain't gonna stand." With his father gone, his role models became the local drug dealers. By age 10, he was in the crack trade, following his older brother Javiz, a pattern of crude loyalty that would define and ultimately derail his life.
I used to get money. I was raised by drug dealers, so they used to come to me all the time. Yo, I need ball, son. I need to borrow this, then that, yo.
The crew that formed around him, GS9, was born from that environment. It started as a protective alliance after a close friend was murdered. To them, GS9 was a brotherhood that turned into a record label, a circle of friends with a passion for hip-hop. But to NYPD, GS9 was a violent criminal enterprise, a faction of the G-Stone Crips responsible for drug trafficking, 24 shootings, and 1 murder. This gap between how they saw themselves and how the law saw them was at the heart of Shmurda's story. Shmurda started rapping at age 10, and his music was a direct reflection of life. The lyrics that made him famous were, by his own admission, autobiographical. In Hot, he raps, "I've been selling since the 5th grade, cause Jaja taught me," a direct reference to his brother. What fans heard as raw, authentic street poetry, the authorities heard as a confession. The art that made him a star was also building the case against him. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, let YouTube know by hitting that like and subscribe button. Now, let's get back to the video. The song that would change everything was made almost by accident. It was recorded in a single hour of studio time that cost just $20. At the time, Shmurda was more focused on the streets. It was his friends who pushed him into the studio.
You spend $20 for 1 hour of studio time,
Yeah.
and that's when you put together your biggest record.
Hot.
The beat, made by Jaleel Beats, was actually from a 2-year-old Lloyd Banks song, but Shmurda had only heard the instrumental, giving him a blank canvas. The song's explosion was purely organic. Low-budget video, first uploaded to a friend's YouTube, felt more like a documentary than a music video. It was perfect for Vine, the 6-second video app that dominated youth culture. The Shmoney dance and the ad-lib, about a week ago, became a massive meme, replicated by millions.
Babe, what's wrong? I missed my period. When?
About a week ago.
It was a lightning in a bottle moment, a hit song born from user-generated content in a way that had never really happened before. As the song went global, the industry came calling. A bidding war started. He performed with Meek Mill, got the Jay-Z and Beyonce co-sign, and ultimately signed a major deal with Epic Records. Epic moved fast, releasing his debut EP, Shmurda She Wrote, in November 2014. It had another hit, Bobby B, and with a full album planned for 2015, Bobby Shmurda was on a seemingly unstoppable path to superstardom. On December 17, 2014, just a month after his EP dropped, the music stopped. Shmurda and the 14 members of the GS9 were arrested in a massive police raid at Quad Studios in Times Square. The location tragically ironic. It was the same studio where Tupac Shakur was shot in 1994, a landmark of hip-hop tragedy. The NYPD's commissioner made the prosecution's strategy clear. Shmurda's music was not art, it was evidence. The indictment was a staggering 63 pages with 69 counts, including conspiracy to commit murder. Shmurda himself was labeled the driving force behind the criminal enterprise. The prosecution's case was built on a wiretap phone call where the crew allegedly discussed violence and drug sales, using code words like CDs for firearms. His lyrics were presented as a literal confession. A judge set Shmurda's bill at $2 million. At first, it seemed his label Epic Records would help post the bond, but that help never came. The label that eagerly profited from his authentic street image now saw him as a liability. Epic CEO L.A. Reid later explained that, as a publicly held corporation, they couldn't take that kind of financial risk. They wanted the aesthetics of the streets, not the responsibility. By leaving him incarcerated, the label sealed his fate. After nearly 2 years in jail, Shmurda was faced with an impossible choice: On September 9, 2016, he accepted a plea deal for a 7-year sentence. It was a global plea, meaning his friend Roddy Rebel had to accept his plea deal too. In the now famous jailhouse interview, Shmurda explained the sacrifice he made. He said, "They offered me 5 and offered Roddy 12. They said the only way they'll give him 7 is if I took 7 too. So I had to take 1 for the dogs." He took 2 extra years to save his friends from 5. It was an act of loyalty that cemented his street legacy, but killed his career momentum. As he later said, "If we made bail, I would have beat the case. We look guilty in these orange jumpsuits." Shmurda served this time in some of New York's most notorious prisons. His incarceration was rough. He was involved in brawls and got an extra 4 years, served concurrently, for having his shiv smuggled into his cell. But his presence never fully disappeared. He wrote music, and in 2018, he recorded a verse for 6ix9ine hit "Stupid" over the prison telephone.
Get me naked till I burst out. She used to teach, she get cursed out. And all these suckers with their feelings always got these with their purse out.
His song peaked at number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100, reintroducing his voice to the world and building a powerful narrative for his return. He was now street martyr. On February 23, 2021, after serving over 6 years, Bobby Shmurda was released. The hip-hop world treated it like a return of a king. Quavo from the Migos personally picked him up in a private jet. The goodwill was immense. Everyone was ready for a triumphant comeback. The expectation was clear. He would drop a First Day Out anthem and reclaim his throne. The stage was set for one of the most anticipated returns in modern hip-hop history. But the hero's welcome was followed by a long, confusing silence. The First Day Out track never came. His first official single wasn't released for more than 6 months. Behind the scenes, a battle was brewing with Epic Records. In a series of deleted Instagram posts, he claimed that he had no control over his music. "I ain't been in charge of my music since I was 19, he wrote. In another, he lamented, "I still feel like I'm in prison." By the time he was finally released from his contract in March 2022, a full year of crucial momentum was gone. And when the new music finally did come out, it wasn't what his fans were waiting for. The gritty Brooklyn drill sound was gone, replaced by upbeat, dance-focused tracks like Hoochie Daddy. The fan reception was brutal, but Shmurda defended his new direction. He was a changed man. In one interview, he said, "I don't make music for gangsters. This is for the girls." He was trying to grow, but his original fans felt betrayed. The numbers confirmed the disconnect. His new singles failed to chart. His 2022 EP, Bad Boy, his first project in 8 years, didn't chart on the Billboard 200 at all. A stark contrast to his 2014 EP, which sold 20,000 copies in its first week. The final nail in the coffin came when his Bodman tour was cancelled due to the abysmal ticket sales, with one agent claiming some cities sold as few as 10 tickets. The musical landscape had changed, and Bobby Shmurda, frozen in time for 6 years, had been left behind. The story of Bobby Shmurda is a complex one. His rise was fueled by the authenticity of the streets, the very same streets that led to his downfall. His own lyrics became evidence against him. The label that profited from his image abandoned him when the image became a legal liability. And the 6 years he spent in prison left him disconnected from the very genre he helped create. Today, Bobby Shmurda is a free and independent artist, in control of his career for the first time. But he struggles to find his place, claiming he's being blackballed and distancing himself from the hip-hop culture he now calls very dangerous. This leaves us with a final question. Did Bobby Shmurda truly fall from mainstream, or did he consciously step away from a path that was leading him towards self-destruction? His failure to recapture the magic of 2014 might just be the price he had to pay for a chance to live. What do you think happened to Bobby Shmurda? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more in-depth hip-hop breakdowns. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. I'll catch you next time.